Welcome back to Boss Crew, y'all. Woo!
Hello, hello,
Wow,
Hello,
hello.
hello, hello.
it's been a week already. My goodness, where does the time go? Oof.
I do not
We
know.
we we had a great topic today, guys. We were talking about AI and Christian and Taiwan going back and forth, and I'm listening. And I'm like, let's record this. Let's show our viewers some of our thought processes. So, Christian, if you want to go back to just backtrack a little bit on what you were saying earlier.
Yes, yes, tonight's subject really came out of the blue. And tonight we're not gonna debate or anything formal. It's more sharing our own opinion on certain subject. So we were talking about how we've been lately seeing major companies getting hacked left and right. And it even feels like nobody's doing anything about it. Even though
Mhm,
I know the field is, they have, we have great professionals working every day, making sure that their companies are safe, making
mhm,
sure that your data are safe. But at some point, you have to question certain things that happen. You don't just wake up one morning and see three, four, five major companies get hacked in less than 2 months, 3
mhm.
months. Even a public administration got hacked and came out next day and people already forgot about it, let's say. Well,
Mhm,
I mean, it came out in the news that the social administration got hacked.
mhm,
Listen, it's like everybody already forgot about it. But hey, listen,
That was
your
really
information,
swept underneath the rug, Christian. That was
mhm.
your information are
really
out
swept
there.
underneath the rug.
Yep.
You know, AT&T got hacked. Rental cars company are getting hacked. No, I think last month, I believe it was Avis.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Avis got
No, you're right.
hacked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Avis.
mhm,
So at this point, what's the issue? First, we started thinking about why this is happening, and we agreed most of the articles that you'll read on those subjects are saying, is it because there's not enough people in the field?
mhm,
Security is done, but there's not enough security professionals to monitor what is going on a
mhm,
day-to-day basis. Are we missing are we missing the help? And we see private entities doing all kind of conferences, inviting people, talking about the issue, saying that we need more people. We even see the government making out trading programs to call people in. But at the end, it's like even though all of those are going on, you're still not able to get your foot through the door.
mhm,
And even to say there's not enough trainings program that will invite people to come in.
Right.
I don't know why. Is it because companies doesn't want to invest into people to train them for that and then for those people to turn their back and say, "Hey, listen, I think this is not for me." And before they realize it, they lose a couple of millions. What
mhm,
what is it? And on the other hand, is it because there's an agenda here? We all know, let me rephrase that. I was saying today when you say technology to someone, the first thing that come in head to their mind is social media.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
first thing before they think about cars, computers, anything like that, the first thing that they see when you say technology, they see social media. And one of the s- major subject by the woke pages or accounts on social media is about being controlled by those people who run those companies, having your data out there to them where they can share it with any third party. And then those people are out here trying to control your life. And that makes people skeptical about
Mhm.
technology
Mhm.
in general. So when you tell someone about, hey, listen, I have a Tesla, it has an autopilot mode, and people are like, oh, listen, I don't trust that. They'll be like, hey, I like the car. It looks nice, it looks fun, but the thought of not being fully in control of my car is scary to me. I've
Mhm.
heard that a lot, to be honest. I've heard that a lot. Or people saying, hey, listen, this is already too much for me because I say something next to my phone, and next thing you know, I'll be on IG scrolling. And last
Mhm.
week, I believe, in our last recording, even Bindi was mentioning that.
Mhm.
If not, it was a conversation that we had, but I do believe it was
Yeah.
during our last
Yeah.
recording. You say something, and next thing you know, IG is showing it to you, Google is showing it to you,
Mhm. Any
random
website you
ads,
go to, anything, any
and
game
then
you're
you're like,
playing, they got
exactly.
ads. Yeah, everything,
And then you're
everywhere.
like,
Yep.
what's going on? Is my phone listening to me?
Mhm.
So I'm going with the thought process of, are we going somewhere
Mm.
with that? So people are skeptical or scared about what someone can do with that technology that they invented, what that person can do to their life or with their life.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's it's concerning now to see major companies or public administration getting hacked.
Mhm.
But is there a solution somewhere? But since people are not really open to adopt or accept that transition into the new technology that we are getting, or they
Mhm.
creating a situation where people can only say, listen, what if we tried that for real? Because this is the other, what we're doing now is not working. And I was saying, now with AI, you can do everything. You don't have to know it as long as you can create a prompt. And a prompt is a sentence or paragraph where you can detail to that software, to that robot, what to do for you, so that AI can generate it or do it for you. That's what they
Mhm.
call a prompt. And people are actually learning how to do that. People, influencers are out there making videos and contents about how to use X and Y AI. And I'm talking about that level, the simple level where how to create good prompts to get the result you need when you're using your AIs.
Mhm.
And at this point, what I'm seeing here, what I'm trying to see is that chaotic moment that we are living with all those companies getting hacked left and right, all those threats, isn't it because they want to come with a solution, but the tool or the solution, if they put it out right now, people will decline it. So they're
Mhm.
creating a situation where all you'll have to do is ask for it. And then they'll come out with, hey, listen, we heard you. We worked on that. We're presenting you this. So
Mhm.
the example I took was someone with a bad habit. They know it. They even think about it themselves. Sometimes they sit down and say, hey, listen, I need to fix this. But the moment someone else goes to them and say, hey, you need to work on that. I saw that you have X and Y problem. You need to work on it. They go crazy.
Mhm.
But if they get to the point where they feel like they need help and they're ready to ask for it, they will go to that same person and say, hey, listen, I have a problem. I want you to help me with it. And they will be more than happy to accept whatever that person has to say about them because they want it. They're looking for it.
Mhm.
In theory, what you're saying, Christian, is that that tool is already accessible, but it's not being applied yet because
Yeah.
people haven't um, people haven't people are not open yet to receive it or to ask for it. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah, people are not ready yet to accept to
Acceptance,
do
accept.
what they everything that uh they can do with it. So they want
Okay.
to.
Mhm.
So far, they're using it, but to a certain limit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I do believe the things they want to do with it, those who are proposing it, the things that they are ready to do with that, I don't think that society is ready to accept it from them. So they're letting that situation that they're just letting it happen so people can ask for it. So it
Right.
doesn't look like they pushing it down your throat.
I got
Mhm.
you. I got you. And you definitely you're on to something because what I've been seeing with AI and the different models that have been coming out, um, and what I've been reading is the in-depth use of the AI model. So when we think of in the sense of this conversation, right? And we're having this conversation, and as we're talking, we're 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 thinking even our 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 logic is even going to a deeper space of not just understanding, but also coming up with different solutions or theories on why something is happening. So with AI, these language models, the large language models, are becoming even deeper, or being able to go to a deeper stance in that logical sense. That when you put in a prompt, your prompt could be so in depth that that AI model, should be able to uh, give you back an answer as if you are having that conversation with an actual human being, that is
Yep.
going to think on a logical scale, on a deeper meaning, and give you back a response that you could still until feed it another prompt, and that it will go even deeper and answer that question. And you are you're right on something, because I don't think people are quite ready for it. There are some that are, because they want to be able to use AI to do this thing. I read yesterday how in the medical space they was able to use AI to um to help with a diagnosis that they was able to get faster than it would have taken the doctors to come up with.
Wow.
And that's yeah. And that's that logical thinking and reasoning that some of us are ready for, because there are some of us in this tech space that we want to be able to use it for that. I mean, there are models out there
Yep.
right now that can be used to for the defense purpose, and malware and certain attacks. Um, but they're building them so that it can actually give us more in-depth logical stance on a particular attack.
Mm.
Not just how to stop it, but they're working on how it can, I don't want to say predict, but to work fast enough that if the attack is happening in real time, the model will be able to go in and isolate it. Isolate it. That will be a game changer. But
I
as you
wonder if
said,
that,
go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry, Tyra, to cut you off, but I wonder if that same model could even go back as far as to figure out every piece that was touched along the way. Because it's never just that end game. There's always something in between that is involved. So I wonder if that part of that model's functionality will be like, okay, this, 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 and then give you a whole report of everything that was there.
And that's the engineering piece, right? So I think
Yep.
Mhm.
we'll probably have two elements in this. We'll have the physical engineering and you that
Mhm.
entity as that engineering piece and developing
Mhm.
those prompts to be able to ask those questions or have it do just that, right? To
Right.
go in, to isolate it, to also go back to figure out what other pieces were touched by that attack, how did it affect it.
Mhm.
It's going to be able to
Mhm.
do that. But Christian, you was really hitting on something when you were saying that I don't know if yeah, there are some that want it, that's ready for this, and not just in the AI sense, but there are probably some that are not ready, and they're
Mhm.
afraid that if it's unleashed, the general public may not um accept it in a sense. And you're right. When you think of technology, most people, the average person, only thinks, well,
Yeah.
my iPhone, and I can go onto any social media and I can send text, and that's it. But it's more. It's more of that. Um, it's more pieces to technology than just social media. And you're right. People, I think a lot of these attacks that we're seeing now, there's definitely something else to it that if we're opening up every morning and we're seeing like 3 attacks that happen um before the 9 o'clock hour, at least here on
Yeah.
the East Coast, and we're reading about attacks happening, that's telling me something else is happening,
Mhm.
and maybe there is something else that needs to be prepared to roll out. They just not sure how soon they can go ahead and roll this out to prevent these attacks from happening on a day to day. Not to say that they won't happen, but maybe the frequency of them. Um, and there's definitely a lot of elements in it, as well as um, on a company stance, the hiring front. I think a lot of people. One of the things I saw today, a lot of on LinkedIn, was that there was a lot of messages and posts from people talking about being asked for 2 to 5 years experience in a job, in an entry level job. Whereas how can I have 2 or 5 years experience if I'm looking at an entry level job? How could you
Mhm.
ask for 2 to 5 years experience for a position that shouldn't require that.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people are wondering, questioning, like, I was told that there was jobs available, but now you're telling me you want somebody with 2 to 5 years experience. Well, I did the basic. I got a first cert. I was told this cert should be able to help me get in. Um, since I was working on that, I wound up getting a second cert. Um, yeah, I have one or two labs that I built. Um, so why can't I get in to the door? You're telling me I need 2 to 5 years experience. That doesn't make sense. And I'm being told that your company needs people.
Yep.
You need people. You need a lot of people. But you're
Mhm.
telling me everybody that you're looking for at an entry level needs to have 2 to 5 years experience at an entry level? Again,
Mhm.
that raises another question too.
Mhm.
It's there are a lot of things that are just not adding up.
I think I feel like we should ask like a hiring manager that question because I've noticed that too. And
Yeah.
then you have these people who do have the 2 to 5 years of experience going into it, and they look at the pay and they're like, well, I'm getting paid way more over here. Why would I cut,
Yep.
take a pay cut?
Yep,
It's
absolutely.
very confusing. If you're gonna say entry level, an entry level means you have 0 to a year, which means that you have no experience, but you did
A
schooling, so you might
little.
have a
Yep.
little bit, you know, there's, and not a lot of colleges even are doing internships, from what
No,
I understand anymore.
No.
That's
no.
the biggest thing is if you could get in, do an internship. I know one of the guys in our class was lucky enough to get his foot in the door for an internship. Not everyone has that same experience with it. So how am I supposed to get it if no one hires me to get it?
To get it.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
As
Absolutely.
um I was gonna touch that part is like you said, most even the internships that are available right now or asking that you are enrolled in a bachelor's degree program in order for you to enroll in that internship. As I'm saying, it's not an issue. Actually, it's good. It's good, but for one side. So for those in school right now, in college right now, going for a STEM degree,
Mhm.
that's good. For
Mhm.
an aspiring professional, someone switching careers, or
Mhm.
someone who is not coming from a 4-year degree, you get blocked at that level.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
there's no actual ways. I'm not, let me not say that. There are ways where you can go around it, but it's a it's a it's a different game.
Mhm.
It's a different game. And I'd say that alone is turning people down uh, or pushing people out. So for new people coming in the field, this is something that will definitely put someone in a position where they just give up. And
Mhm.
I've seen, um, I have this guy that I follow on X, and he has its own boot camp, and daily he posts um, content on Security Plus and Network Plus, and also on how his boot camp program works. And he also give a lot of advices on what to do to get your foot through the door, what kind of certification to focus on. And then one of his tweets or X post caught my attention. And there was this guy under his post who said that he actually has a degree in cybersecurity, not computer science, in cybersecurity, and that it was still tough for him to find a job. And he said that, well, in his words, he's seen that more than what people can think of. And actually, the one thing that really gives people leverage or the certification. Yet, with the cert, that is where I get confused. You work, you get your Security Plus, and one other cert.
Mhm.
Depends on what you want to do, where you want to go. But you have less than 2 years of experience.
Mhm.
Once you do that application, you get an email saying, unfortunately. Now, unfortunately, the following words doesn't say what exactly is unfortunate that caused them to not pick you.
Right,
But
right.
unfortunately, we had to choose someone else.
Mhm.
Right.
So what do I need to do?
Right.
What is it that makes you say he's not a good fit? If we
Right.
need people, if we need the help, I would believe that the companies would be looking for are people to train. Because at the end of the day, you need to know how to run commands on Linux, how Wireshark works. Let's put Wireshark on the side. How Packet works.
Mhm.
And then for the popular tool for an analyst, Splunk, how Splunk works,
Of course.
Right.
right?
Right.
But little do you know, there's way more tools out there
Mhm.
Yes.
that we don't even know about.
Mhm.
And you hear them once you go look into a company and try to find out what kind of tools that they use there. And then you see a name and like, oh, there's a tool, there's a tool just like Splunk, just like Wireshark
And Matt,
that works differently. And that's what that
Mhm.
company used. Hey, listen, I didn't know that when I did the application. Can I go back and try to see if I can get a cert that says I have the basics for that tool and then
Mhm.
reapply? No.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yet, not all those vendors create these kind of programs where you can go and take a course and to relearn their tools. Splunk have that option, by the way. If you're watching this video and you want to go into a SOC analyst or at any analyst level, Splunk is one of the most popular tool that they use. And if you go on their website, you can actually take a course. They have different ones, and but I do believe that the basic admin one, if I'm not mistaken, it's called. It's free. You just have to create an account and you can take it for free. You can add that to your resume. It shows you how to set up alerts and read your data on Splunk. It's actually a good course. But to go back to our subject, our conversation of like, then the best thing to do is if I understand what security is, and you know that because I have the certification, if I know how network works, then the best thing you can do is give me the chance or the opportunity to tell you how motivated I am, how
Mhm.
focused I am, and then based on that, you can tell yourself, you can decide if I'm worth the investment. Because at the end, wherever I come from, you will still have to train that individual for your company,
Oh yeah,
no matter what.
that's inevitable. Wherever job you go to, um,
You have to.
if you don't, if no one is training you, you know, again, you hit on something, and it's like if you ever went to work anywhere, any job,
Mhm.
no matter
Yep. Mhm.
what level it's at, if someone doesn't show you what to do in the job, how are you to know what to do?
Exactly.
You gotta be shown what to do. Yeah, you may know what the company does, you may know what the role entails, but what do you want me to do specifically in this job? Show me what I'm supposed to do, and then from there, I'm going to apply all the skills that I have to one, two, three up this position as as I'm doing the details of the job that you're doing that you've asked me to
Mhm.
do. So now it's up to you hire me to elevate this up because you said, yeah, you have the skill set to do this job. Um, you've been verified that you can do this job. So we're going to place you in this job. Oh yeah, and these are the things you're going to do. I'm going to show you what you're going to do. Now it's up for me to elevate that. Not only do those things, but let me elevate it up based off of my skills. Bring a little something extra to the role, to the organization and helping it up. And that speaks the same thing in this field in an entry level spot.
Yep.
I said I could do X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
You asked for somebody that could do X, Y, and Z. Okay. Now when I come in, there are still some elements that you need me to know how to do it. And it's up to you to show me that. It's not up
Mhm.
to me to walk in and just say, okay, I'm gonna just start typing in things randomly.
Mhm.
Well, why are you typing in things randomly? Well, you didn't tell me what I needed to do.
Mhm.
Well, well, I do know what I need to do, but you didn't tell me what I need to do in this role.
Mhm.
And I think, and Christian, you hit right on that. It says, I don't know, I would have to see the numbers, but I always thought it was more cost efficient if I brought in a couple of people to do a job at a lower level, train them, than to hire two, three people uh at more and pay them more to do less because
Mhm.
their skill set says that they no longer do that. They only do that because usually what
Mhm.
happens is when you move up the ladder, you forget how to do the basic stuff because you're not
Mhm.
practicing that stuff no more. So you're only going to
Hmm.
be concerned with the upper echelon um,
Yep.
know-how. So the bottom tier, you're going to forget how to do that.
Mhm.
So do I pay somebody? Do I pay three people more to go back to get training to do what I could
Not to
probably
mention pay for the training.
Yep.
and pay six people more down
Yep.
here? It again, the math is not mathing up.
Mhm. And the last thing I want to add to that before we wrap up tonight's podcast is even if you get your certifications in certain tools, the new thing they're doing is you need a year to 3 years of experience using said
That too.
tool. That is my biggest pet peeve because it's like it's bad enough you're saying I need 2 to 5 years in this field
Mm.
in an entry level, but you also want me to have 1 to 3 years in using Splunk or something similar to. It's an entry level position. What do I look like, Superman?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Just so it's rough, but I think it's just a matter of hitting the right company at the right time that
Yeah.
they're like, I'm gonna let this person in at
Yeah.
an entry level so that I can teach them the tools that they need
Right.
to work and get the experience that they need for this field.
Exactly.
Yep.
You've got to find that one person that's willing to say that to you. And once you do, you've hit the lottery.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So this was a great conversation. I
It
think we
really
could add
was.
more to it, but let's save that for another night.
Yes.
Just to wrap it up, we will include all the links on everything we spoke about in this video. So below, above, wherever you're looking at the link, go to the YouTube channel and you'll see it there. This is Boss Crew signing out. Have a great night, guys.
Good night, people.
Bye.
Peace.
Good night.